let's talk about how to slack off and still supersize your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And sometimes we are wound tight or we're stretched to a thin line because we're doing too much. We're trying too hard. We're working too hard. We're working all the time, etc. And that, although we think that helps us to supersize and grow our business, it actually can have the exact opposite effect. Because if you burn out, if you just get sick and tired and can't work anymore, what happens to your business? You're definitely not supersizing it. So slack off. This is one of those terms that makes me smile because I used to be such an insane workaholic. I was always walking a tightrope and never taking time off. I was doing the minimum to get by with respect to my health and every other aspect of my life. And it came back to haunt me. It caused me to lose relationships. It caused me to lose my health and nearly disappear from the planet. But I learned my lesson and have discovered how I can effectively actually relax, recharge, stop, re-energize by planning in time for myself, time to recharge my batteries, time to actually sleep and plan and work on my businesses, not just in my businesses. It was a hard, long lesson for me to learn, but I needed to learn it just like everybody else needs to learn the lessons that are there for them to learn. So slacking off or being a slacker, this always reminds me of the movie Back to the Future, Marty McFly. Biff was always calling him, I think his name was Biff, a slacker, and that he was never going to amount to anything because that's what Biff heard growing up. And this actually became a popular term between 1790 and 1898 during something called the, and I'm going to look it up, British Gezira scheme. And that was in the early to mid 20th century when the Sudanese laborers protested their relative powerlessness by actually slowing down and working really lethargically. And that became known as slacking, or they were slackers, meaning they weren't putting forth and doing something with the best of their ability. They were putting forth less energy and less effort, and they were less active or less forceful than they needed to be. Slack off also means to release or ease the tension or pressure on something. So if you're really tight and you release the pressure, I can think of a lot of aspects and areas where we did that in manufacturing, where we were turning the machines up and up and up and up, maxing out their capability, only to find out that they would break down more often. If we just backed off or slacked off a little bit, they would run for much longer, more efficiently, and we had less breakdowns, etc., etc. So what do you do, and how do you slack off and still supersize your business? I realize that I still use the Plan, Do, Check, Act problem-solving format or framework when I'm thinking about questions like this. For example, we need to rest and recharge and re-energize and take time off, or take time at least in a different scene to solve problems, to open the flow of our brains and our creativity, to see things differently, to have ideas, to be creative, to brainstorm like we talked about a couple of days ago. In order to be great at brainstorming, we have to see different things or bring different groups of people together that can help us see different perspectives. I guess I wouldn't call brainstorming a way of slacking off, but taking time off, recharging our batteries, going somewhere else, taking a holiday off. Today happens to be a holiday, and I plan on slacking off and hanging out with my family a lot today. I schedule into my personal schedule times off, times to sleep, times to recharge, relearn, read books, time to grow and personally develop so that I can always be becoming a better leader, a better organizer for the companies and the people that I lead. So how do we slack off, not feel guilty about it? Now, I'm not going to say I don't always feel guilty about it, but how do we do that and know that our business is probably better off for us doing that? Well, number one, we create a team of people or systems and processes and procedures that get the job done and get the work done and keep the business moving forward, even if we're not there. Number two, we delegate responsibility to the people and entrust that they are wise and amazing and have the company's best interests at heart. We delegate tasks and responsibility to them. We let them do their jobs. We let them do what we brought them on the team to do. We let them perform and grow and expand the business, which is the reason we brought them on board in the first place. Number three, We monitor results and we see what's going on. And number 4, then we adjust as required. We do what's necessary to continually improve and create a system that is always, for our business, overall business, that is always getting better and better and better. And when we do that, when we're confident that we've done that, we can take time off and not worry about it. Are we always 100% responsible for our business and the people in our business and the things that our business does? Yes. But that doesn't mean we can't separate ourselves from that and enjoy the other areas and aspects of our life. What do they say? All work and no play makes Jack and Jill a dull boy and girl. I think we've talked about that as well. So I am curious, what's your opinion of the term slack off? Do you slack off? Do you take time off? To me, slack is not a negative term. It's just an easing of pressure. And all of us at some time need an easing of pressure. So what do you associate with this term? What do you associate with this phrase? Have you had positive or negative experiences with it? Share in the comments below. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how you might be able to use it in your life right now. If you really are looking for information about how to set your business up so that you can slack off, so you can take time off, what are those systems and those procedures and those processes and those team members and things that you need in place? On the Supersize Your Business group page, there is a scavenger hunt that you can take and in a fun way go through the entire process for free of how to supersize your business. All right, that's it. Have an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.